Hello and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. Today's episode of Bourbon Barrel Talk is brought to you by Signature Painting and Coatings. They specialize in residential and small commercial painting. Owner Jeff Ostrader has been serving Louisville and Southern Indiana families for over 35 years. There is no job too small. For your no-cost obligation estimate, please contact Jeff at 502-494-0595. Signature Painting and Coatings. Hire a professional, not a painter. And we're back in the Brock Bourbon Bar, and this is Scott Minton, and I'm the host of Bourbon Barrel Talk.
Hostess with the mostest.
That's right. I just thought I'd do something fun today. Anyway, we have a little treat here. Nick was kind enough that after I did a barrel pick at Old Louisville Whiskey Company, that we decided we were going to try this, review it, and tell us what we all thought of this. So I'm going to give you a little story behind this bad boy. So me and Chad Huffman, Matt, DJ Jazzy Jaznoff, BJ from he's at Starlight all the time. I think he does the little charity group, BJ Ward. And
That's Brandon does the MLB. BJ.
Anyway, BJ and a couple other guys. We all met with Chad, and Amin was like, "Hey, come over and do a barrel pick." We're like, done. So we tried through about 15 barrels, and we narrowed it down to 2 MGP 36% rye that were just fantastic barrels. Both of them were 8.5 years old. You
said 36% rye, right?
Right. Yep.
So this would be considered kind of a high rye.
Yeah, 60-36 for that standard MGP high rye. But 8.5 years old. So one was a little bit more on the woody oaky side, and then that was the sister barrel. They were dumped the same week. Same mash bill, all that good stuff. And this one, to me, was just like crazy unique. So we voted on it, and this one almost won unanimously. I think out of the 6 of us, 5 of us picked it. So it's 114 proof. There was only 156 bottles total. Amin kept 2. One is being sent to San Francisco for the Single Barrel Award.
Oh, sweet!
So we may have an award-winning whiskey here.
It's not bad.
So we're waiting to hear back to see how all that lands and what the rating is. So and go
when
from
will
there.
we get that information?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea how long San Francisco takes to do that type of stuff. But we may have a gold-winning, double platinum. Who knows, man? On this bad boy. All I know is it's delicious. So
question: Who's here on the podcast with us today?
I don't care. Who cares?
Well,
obviously, Nick.
We're just here.
Barbara's already been talking. And there's Carl.
Leave it to Carl.
Carl. Anyway.
I'm just happy to be here.
Messy Messerson. That's what we're going to start calling Carl over there.
Lord.
So
Messy McMesserson?
Yeah, Messy
Don't make me
McMesserson.
feel any worse than I am.
Anyway, well, at least he's not John. He ain't breaking shit off the wall.
You know what? At least you're sitting here drinking bourbon. That's the whole point.
Very much so.
So anyway,
Really good bourbon.
first thing on this thing, man, like I dove in on the nose a little bit. It's got some rich, like sugary caramel, a little bit of
really
vanilla.
Yep.
Tobacco.
There you go. Vanilla. I was getting like the vanilla extract.
Super dark fruit.
Really hard.
There's some plum/cherry there, like the really, really dark cherries.
A little bit of baking spice.
Oh, yeah, for sure. A little baking spice.
Not very much.
Yeah, but it's clove. It's like that cigar-y, tobacco-y.
Yeah.
But, man.
It has almost like a really nice honey color to it.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And the legs on this thing.
What legs? They're sticking to the walls.
I mean, it's just
It's
rolling.
glue.
It is.
They just don't
It's like
come
syrup.
down.
I mean, it's thick.
It's
It
thick,
is.
very thick.
It's super thick. So I'm gonna let somebody else take a pull before I do, because I've not tried this since we did the barrel pick.
It was a lot of like caramel and molasses to me, with a little bit of wood, but not much, and like a cigar, like a sweet cigar.
Yeah, some dark fruit, tobacco.
Yeah, I get a lot of that dark fruit. I get the caramel, kind of like and it's weird. I can tell it's the high rye because that kind of I get that little tongue tingle, and it's weird. It kind of like moves to the back, moves to the front, about that mid palate area.
But it's not like a high rye punch.
No. There's no punch.
No.
Please, don't misunderstand that. There's no punch there, but
no.
it's just that nice little soft tingle, and it's not quite as viscous in the mouthfeel as I thought it would be.
Right.
But I can still feel it lingering, for a period of time.
Yeah, it's got a little Kentucky chew, but not like not
It
super
almost
heavy.
wants to stick more on that front and mid palate.
Yeah, I'd say more on the mid than on the front. For
Yeah.
sure.
I'll agree with you
But
there.
what I'm saying, it kind of like seesaws
Yeah,
a little bit.
tobacco, a little
Yeah.
bit of caramel. Man, I tell you that dark fruit though, man. I want to say maybe a plum. Plum.
I don't know if you could call it that.
I,
But maybe kind of like almost, I don't want to call it like a roasted cherry, but maybe like a cooked cherry.
No,
Yeah.
no.
almost like a caramelized, like
Cherry, yeah.
like a. I'm still thinking like plum.
It's more plum.
Yeah.
It
Thinking
is
like
more
plum.
plum.
I think it's plum.
Yeah,
The more I
it is
drink
more
it,
plum.
It's just a super dark fruit. It's that rich, almost. You know what? I bet it's fig.
Oh,
Yeah. That makes
sense. Yeah.
The more I sip on, Barbara's going back in. After diving in that second taste, because I always say 2 tastes makes a big difference.
It does. Yeah. Because I went
It
back
also,
for
it also has like a dry finish to it. Like dries out the tongue a little bit.
It's weird. No,
yeah. I think it's more fig. I agree.
Yeah, fig,
like-
tobacco.
Yeah.
What you're saying from the palate standpoint is it's weird. It's like the back of the palate wants to dry, but I'm still getting a linger on the mid palate.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that mid palate is just sticking right there.
But it's that rye finish though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's that rye finish, a little bit of that baking spice.
And it's not a heavy baking spice.
No,
No,
no.
no.
I said a little bit,
He did.
just a little bit.
Umpa.
A little bit.
I don't get a Kentucky hug off this, really.
I got one like really
Right in
upper
here.
chest.
Just right above the collarbone.
Just barely.
right. Anything lower than that, right below the throat, that collarbone area.
I mean,
it just
everything
goes
stops
away.
right at my, like the tonsils or
But it's
whatever.
that rye. It's that
Oh, yeah.
rye. It's all on that finish. It's the rye with a little bit of sweetness, but it's mainly just that nice rye spice. That's
Now
just
this
kind
is
of flush.
this is the rye I like. It's the non-floral, more baking spice type
Yep.
rye. That,
Yep.
that to me is above and beyond.
I really don't get any floral off this.
No.
No.
I'm just doing more of a comparison
Yeah.
because typically whenever somebody says rye, floral notes come into a
yeah.
lot of times.
Not necessarily.
So looking at Old Louisville,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a big fan of what Amin's doing. Probably my favorite thing about these bottles, outside of the juice that's in them, is the label.
Oh,
Yeah,
the label's
the
wonderful.
labels are awesome.
It's unique.
Like I love the
Absolutely.
Louisville tie, the fact that it's Old Louisville and it's got the street names,
Yeah.
and you can
Has
kind of
the
see
map.
how things intersects. It's got the street names and the map all built in.
Now,
Yeah.
that's total of 3 labels on that, aside from the little tax strip or the faux tax strip.
because it's a weird split label. Like it's like an X, I guess you would say.
A
is the
bow
main
tie.
label. A bow
Yeah.
tie. There you
There
go.
you
Perfect.
go.
Yeah, bow
Yeah,
tie, and then it's got like a
absolutely.
little triangular thing that kind of hugs into the bow ties of the split label.
Almost like the handkerchief in a
Yeah,
pocket.
pocket square.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, see, I got you, man. Look at me, fancy banker, using all this terminology. Yeah, pocket squares and bow ties.
He's got to dress up every now and then, right?
I do. Sometimes I got to dress to impress. So it's hard though, man. Look at this face, man. I was born with this shit. You're born with this
Yeah,
face. It's hard to show up too nice sometimes.
Face for radio, right?
That's exactly right. So the other thing I really, really like, and I don't know if most people notice this or not, but the Indiana overlaps the Kentucky on the back because that represents the whiskey styles that he's mainly purchased, which is MGP, Indiana, and then the Kentucky stuff that he's bought. So
I don't think I noticed that.
I
Okay,
didn't
that's
either,
cool.
but that is cool. Yeah, I see
so,
that.
But I just think some of the attention to detail, I think the label is just classic. It's beautiful. It's got a nice look to it. It gives you the proper spot there to put the age statement if you want to put it on there, and then just everything else that kind of goes with it. Just a good looking bottle overall.
I mean, he's got it set up just perfectly, truthfully.
Yep. The one thing that I didn't understand, and I'm still trying to, I still think I'm kind of falling for it, but I'm not 100, is the barrel with the OL in it on the tack strip. Most people probably don't even notice it either.
I think I noticed.
I was
on the
trying to
first
figure out what
release.
that was.
Yeah, it's Old Louisville. It's the script for it, but it's kind of tied into the barrel. So
Can you go back and smell it for me, please?
go back and smell it. Sure.
Yeah.
What are you going to tell me what I'm smelling?
Not until I hear from y'all.
Okay.
I mean,
So I'm getting-
I have just a little bit left, and I'm getting tobacco.
I'm getting more tobacco, that dark fruit note. Getting a little bit more, the vanilla is starting to become a little bit more pronounced. But I mean, what else are you getting?
I'm getting the floral of tobacco.
Floral tobacco?
Yeah.
Like a sweeter cigar.
Yeah, absolutely.
The old I don't know how many people are around here. I mean, I as a young kid, I can say, and I'm going to go down a barber trail here.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Here we go.
Is that my parents had some friends who owned a tobacco farm up near Starlight, Indiana.
Okay.
And we would go up there and help them plant periodically. And there'd be times whenever we'd be there to help at least do initial harvest. And then sometimes we'd go back and visit after they've just been hung in the barn.
Yep.
That's the best smell in the world to me.
The dry. Yeah.
As it's kind of in that, it's not fully dried yet, but it's in that drying stage where I think she might be kind of coming at.
Where
Yeah.
that kind of sweet comes
Yeah.
into play
Yeah.
instead of that heavy tobacco.
I get where you're coming from, but yeah, I understand that. But to me, it's almost like it's right after they've done the shelling, like they've actually cut the leaves, like it's dry, like it's ready to go, but it hasn't had anything added to it yet. That's kind of the more smell I get. But
Okay.
So like
I
if
can
you
get
walk
there.
into the tobacco part of the Kentucky State Fair where they have the different sections processed and all that.
Yep. I could
I
definitely
can
pick that up.
understand that.
And
I always went in those as a kid. So
But it's got a rich tobacco
And
smell, flavor.
And we never did because that was just not in our wheelhouse.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Two preachers' kids, blah, 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 going to... No, never mind.
Now, I don't know if
They
anybody
didn't
else
smoke or drink, right?
Nope.
I'm getting
Yeah.
like a raw honey kind of cutting through that just a little bit.
There's definitely some sweetness for sure.
Very, very
Yeah.
raw. But
Yep.
it needs to be that more raw. Agreed.
But man, I tell you what, this thing is just... I love this bottle. I'm so glad we picked this one. And the other one, I would say the other one was very similar. It was less sweet, but more oaky. So it was one of those weird, like, did you want the spice from the oakiness, or did you want the sweetness from, that tobacco and those heavy, notes there? So
And I think, for people to buy stuff or even sell off, you want those different smells you think are going to attract people more. And I mean, both will attract some people, but
Absolutely.
people look more towards that kind of that get past the cheaper bourbon to where they're more elegant bourbons. Enjoy that sweetness level.
right.
Yeah.
I will tell you the other good thing is Amin bought some weird mash bills. Like
Okay.
he's got some barrels up there that are like 5149s, so
Oh.
51% corn, 49% rye.
Nice.
And
That's
no
interesting.
malt.
Huh?
No malt?
No malt at all.
Ooh,
So
I would love to try one of
they're
those.
delicious. Now the funny thing is about those, even at barrel strength, they're like 98 to 102 proof.
I could understand that because I mean rye is not going to do
Yeah.
as much as
Well,
No.
they like the barrels were almost rusted, like they were in the wet, danky. They almost have like a dusty like quality
okay.
to them. They're
Yeah.
funky, but they're delicious. Like we need to take a field trip over there one day,
Anytime.
on the weekend,
yes,
and go
please.
taste through some barrels. But
Hey,
Absolutely.
Mean, can we bring the bus over?
yeah,
We might
Just-
we want a field
we're
trip.
we're bringing the van, packing up the crew. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's got some funky stuff with her. He's got some weeded stuff. He's got
Okay.
those, and he's got everything from 5 years up to 16, 17-year-old Indiana light
Wow.
whiskeys. So I mean, he's got a mixture of
Ooh.
everything.
I'd love
So
to try some of that white whiskey.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Carl.
he's only let me try a couple of those barrels, but
He's trying to be very
he's
protective
being very
of those.
selective and protective of those
Very
because there's not many of those
particular.
16, 17
Oh, I
year old
can
Indiana light
understand
Oh, I
whiskeys
can.
left.
Yeah, I can get with that one.
So overall, what's the initial opinion, or I guess the final opinion on this pour?
I'm sad.
You're sad. You said you didn't buy one.
Yes.
Yeah, we might need more than one.
Yeah.
There's
It's
not going
gone.
to
Listen, there's not going to be more than one. It's gone. We
Oh,
we
dear.
oversold this barrel in Chad's group, Mythic. So those fellas are going to have quite a few of these, and I'm going to do my best to try to talk Stephen Gibson out of one of these.
All right.
So I think he bought a few extra. So
I want to.
Fingers crossed.
I'd love to taste the sister barrel.
the Sister Barrel is really
I
good. Like I said,
agree.
it's
I think
it's
I
oaky.
really do.
I think there's 18 of them left to buy. I did not buy one because I didn't want to be greedy because I got some of the first barrel, but now I'm sitting there thinking maybe I should have bought the second barrel. So I don't know.
just to try it out.
Okay. Yeah,
See what
it
the
would be.
product
It
was.
would be interesting.
The problem
to-
is it's just like this. I haven't tried it since we did that day, right? I didn't
Yeah.
go back in and resample the barrel. He's bottled it this morning, so
Oh, sweet.
So I might sneak over there tomorrow sometime and be like, hey, let me get a little swiggy swig of that batch 2 or that barrel 2.
Yeah.
I imagine there's probably a half bottle sitting there somewhere that
Oh,
you can't sell.
I guarantee it.
Absolutely.
Guarantee. So
He's got to have a sample bottle for himself.
that's right.
Well, duh.
But like I said, to me, I really love this bottle. Solid. Gives you everything you want for a whiskey, and for it only being 8.5 years old. For being 8.5 years old, I feel like it drinks well beyond its years. I mean,
I agree.
Agreed.
I think it was
very robust.
Picked at the proper time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good deal.
I mean, heck, just the legs makes it say that it's like 10 plus.
Yeah.
There is no legs.
I know. They're still like
Just
trying to figure
coat-
themselves
it
out.
just it's doing its own thing, man,
It
for
just
sure.
paints the side of the glass. That's all it does.
There you
There you
go.
go.
It's holding on there, hanging there like a hair on a biscuit. We've said it 100 times on the show, man. It's there. It's
the
all
truth.
of it. So.
It is the truth. Agreed.
Well, I think that's our review of this Old Louisville single barrel. It's a mythical pick that we did with Chad and a group of fellas. And if you want to find Bourbon Barrel Talk, you can find us on Instagram, the Facebook, and the Twitter. Make sure you email any questions to bourbonbarreltalk@gmail.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the share button on any of those episodes. That way you get them as soon as they're coming down, whether it's through iTunes or through Spotify or whatever your favorite medium is. This is Scott, Carl, Barbara, and Nick signing out. Peace.
See ya. Have a good
Take
night.
care. Bye.